What's up, everybody? This is Danny Mathematics with another example to explore. And today I want to go over example 9 of how to find the x value or solve for the x value whenever we have rational equations. So once again, guys, we're going to solve for the x value. And we're trying to solve the x value, guys, because we're trying to figure out what value or values would make this whole rational equation true. Okay? And the only way we can do that, guys, is actually solving for x. So we're going to solve for x. All right? So in this rational equation, guys, we have 6x over x plus 4 equals 2x plus 2 over x minus 1, right? Now, remember, whenever we're adding and subtracting fractions, right, or expressions that are in fraction form, it's all about the least common denominator, or the LCD, okay? This fraction has a denominator of x plus 4. 4, if I make 4 be a fraction, it will be 4 over 1. It will have a denominator of 1, so we ain't got to worry about that. And this one has a denominator of x minus 1, right? The only way, guys, that we can make these have the same denominator is if we put these denominators together and multiply them as the LCD, right? Or just attach them together. So let's go ahead and do that. So the LCD, or the least common denominator, is going to be, and I'm actually going to write this in red. It's going to be x plus 4 times x minus 1. X plus 4 parentheses times parentheses x minus 1. All right, so let me just make it look better. Okay, and then of course, guys, 4 is 4 over 1 as a fraction. I could put times 1, but that's not going to do anything, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So once again, our LCD is parentheses x plus 4 times parentheses x minus 1. That's how we can make everything have the same denominator. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all of these parts of the rational equation by the LCD. So let's multiply this part by the LCD. I'm going to multiply 4 by the LCD and this expression by the LCD. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to have the LCD, which is x plus 4 parentheses times parentheses x minus 1. So parentheses x plus 4 times parentheses x minus 1. Okay, and I'm going to times that by this expression, which is 6x over x plus 4. 6x over x plus 4. Okay, plus the same thing, guys. I'm going to multiply 4 by the LCD, so it's going to be plus. I'm going to put 4 times parentheses x plus 4 times parentheses x minus 4. Just like that, equal. And then the same thing, guys, the 2x plus 2 over x minus 1, I have to multiply that by the LCD. So once again, I'm gonna have the LCD of parentheses x plus 4 times parentheses x minus 1. Okay. All right, so now I have everything completed. Now what we're going to do is, guys, we're going to start simplifying what we have, or eliminating things, right? Or canceling things out, rather. So the 6x over x plus 4, it has a denominator of x plus 4, and x plus 4 is part of the LCD, which is parentheses x plus 4 times parentheses x minus 1. So x plus 4 divided by x plus 4 cancels out as 1. So I can cross this out and I can cross this out. And then I will only have x minus 1 times 6x. Okay. All right. Over here, everything else is going to come down the way it is. All right. Nothing is going to cancel out. So I'm going to still have 4 times the LCD. All right. Equal. Same thing on this side, guys. In this expression, the denominator is x minus 1, and x minus 1 is part of the LCD. So this and that will cancel out, and I will only have x parentheses x plus 4 times parentheses 2x plus 2. Times parentheses 2x plus 2. All right. So now, guys, I have everything where I want it to be. All right. What we can do, guys, we can continue to simplify. So let's continue to simplify. I'm going to have x times 6x, which is 6x squared. $6x squared. I'm going to put it. All right. And then I'm going to have negative 1 times 6x, which is negative 6x. So it's going to be minus 6x. All right. Plus, okay, I'm going to have 4 times, and then all of this, guys, I'm actually going to factor that out, okay? So that's going to be inside the parentheses. So it's going to be x times x, which is x squared. Okay, x times negative 1 is negative x, or negative 1x. Okay, I'm going to have 4 times x, which is 4x. So it's going to be plus 4x. Right? And then here I'm going to have 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4. All of that goes inside of the parentheses. And then in the next step, I'm going to distribute by multiplying everything inside by 4. Okay? Equal. Same thing over here. I'm going to have x times 2x, which is 2x squared. I'm going to have x times 2, which is this 2x. Okay? I'm going to have 4 times 2x, which is 8x. So it's going to be plus 8x. And then the last one, I'm going to have 4 times this 2, which is going to be 8. Okay? Now, what I need to do, guys, I actually need to distribute right here. So I'm just going to bring everything else down the way it is, and I'm going to distribute this part. Okay, so I still have 6x squared minus 6x okay, plus, now I'm going to multiply 4 by everything inside this parentheses. So we're going to distribute. So I have 4 times x squared, which is 4x squared. Okay, I'm going to have 4 times negative x, which is negative 4x. So it's going to be minus 4x. Up here, I'm going to have 4 times 4x, which is 16x. So it's going to be plus 16x. And then back here, I'm going to have 4 times negative 4, which is negative 16. So it's going to be a minus 16. Okay? Equal everything that I still have on this side, which is still the 2x squared plus 2x plus 8x plus 8. What I can actually do, guys, I can actually start combining like terms. I can combine 2x and 8x, okay? I can combine those like terms. So I'm gonna do that, which that's gonna turn into 10x. So now it's gonna be 2x squared plus 10x plus 8. Okay? Now, I can also combine like terms on this side, so I'm going to do that as well. I can combine 6x squared and I combine 4x squared. Okay? 6x squared plus 4x squared equals 10x squared. So that comes down as 10x squared, or to the second power. Okay? I can also combine, guys, negative 6x, negative 4x, negative 6x and negative 4x is negative 10x, right? Negative 10x plus 16x is 6x. So once again, negative 6 plus negative 4 is negative 10x, right? And then negative 10x plus 16x is a positive 6x. So all of this cancels out to a positive 6x. So I'm gonna have a plus 6x. Okay? And then I don't have anything to combine with the negative 16, so it's gonna still be minus 16. Okay? Equals everything that I have on this side, which is still 2x squared plus 10x plus 8. So 2x squared plus 10x plus 8. Okay. Now, we're almost done, guys. Now, what we need to do is we need to move everything on one side. Since x squared has a higher coefficient of 10 on this side versus this side, I'm going to move everything on this side to this side. Okay? So all I'm going to do is just find the inverse of everything and then move it from one side to the opposite side, right? So the opposite of saying 2x squared is saying negative 2x squared. So I'm going to subtract 2x squared from 2x squared over here. That's going to cancel out. I'm going to subtract 2x squared from 10x squared over here. Okay? Over here I have a plus 10x. The opposite of saying plus 10x is saying minus 10x or negative 10x. So that's going to cancel out. And on this side, I'm going to subtract negative 10x or minus 10x from 6x. Okay? And then over here I have a plus 8. The opposite of saying plus 8 is saying minus 8. I'm going to subtract 8 from 8. That's going to cancel out. I'm going to subtract 8 from negative 16. And then I'm going to move everything up over here because I'm running out of space. So 10x squared minus 2x squared equals 8x squared. So I'm going to have an 8x squared, or x to the second power. Okay, 6x minus 10x equals negative 4x. Right? Yep, negative 4x. And then negative 16 minus 8 is negative 24. Negative 24. Yeah, negative 24. Okay? Okay, equal 0. Now, guys, we're almost to the last, we're basically down to the last step. And in this step, guys, we're actually going to find out the values that x can be that would make this rational equation true. And to do that, guys, because this is a second degree polynomial, we're going to use the quadratic formula. We're going to use the quadratic formula, right? And the quadratic formula is negative b, right? Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. So this is the quadratic formula. This is what we're going to use in order for us to find out what x equals. So this is how we're going to find out the value or the values of x, all right, that it could possibly be. Now, the a is the coefficient that's in front of x squared, which is 8. So 8 is a. So I'm going to make a little key right here. A is 8. B is the coefficient in front of x to the first power, which is -4. Okay, so B is -4. So if B is -4, then negative B is +4. Okay, remember that. If B is -4, negative B is a +4. And then C is the constant, which is -24, right? So C is -24. All right, so all we're gonna do is, guys, we're just gonna plug in those values inside the quadratic formula, and then we'll have the necessary values of x, all right? So let's go ahead and do that. So once again, I have negative b, which is 4, plus or minus, the square root of b squared, right? B is -4. So it's gonna be -4 squared, right? Minus 4 times A is 8, so it's gonna be -4 times 8 times C is -24 times -24. Okay? Can one of y'all go give me a calculator? Can you go give me a calculator? Okay? All over 2 times 8, which is 8, right? Thank you, sir. All right, now we can start simplifying, guys. Once again, we already know that 2 times 8 is 16, right? So I can actually cross this out and put 16, okay? The -4 squared is 16, right? Because -4 times -4 is 16, so that's gonna be inside of there, that's gonna be 16. And here I have a -4 times 8, which is -32. Okay, which is negative, can you give me another one? Which is -32. And then I'm gonna do -32 times -24. Let me just do that real quick. That's 8, that's 12, that's 4, that's 6. A positive 768. Let me just check with my calculator. Just making sure. Yes, 768. So now this is gonna be plus 768. So all of that I can cross out. So now inside is going to be 16 plus 768, which is 784. So now we're going to have 4 plus or minus the square root of 784, because 16 plus 768 is 784, all over 2 times 8, remember, it's 16, all over 16. All right, now we're almost done. What we need to do is find the square root of 784. The square root of 784 is 28. So the square root of 784 is 28. So now, guys, we're gonna have 4 plus or minus 28 divided by 16. And that's going to give us the 2 values of x. So let's start off with the first one, guys. Okay, so it's going to be x equal 4 plus 28 divided by 16 divided by 16. And then down here, guys, we're going to do minus 28 divided by 16. So 4 minus 28 divided by 16. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and solve that, guys. 4 plus 28 is 32. And 32 divided by 16 is 2. So one possible value of x is 2. That's one possible value of x equals 2. And then here, 4 minus 24 is, 4 minus 28, my bad. 4 minus 28 is a negative 24. And then if we simplify negative 24 over 16, that would equal negative 3 over 2. If I divide it by 8, right? Negative 24 divided by 8 is negative 3. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So guys, right here are the two values of x that if we plug those values inside this equation, it will make this whole equation true. So for example, let's just use 2 as one example, guys. I just want to show us what I'm doing. So once again, if 2 was x, okay? 6 times 2 is 12, so it'd be 12 at the top. 2 plus 4 is 6, so 12 over 6 is 2. So this will be 2 plus 4, right, will equal 6. All of this will have to equal 6. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1, and 6 over 1 is 6. So right there just prove, guys, that 2 would make this whole rational equation true. And I'm quite sure if I plugged in negative 3 over 2, it will make that whole rational equation true. All right, so this is example 9 of how to solve for x whenever you have a rational equation. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Talk to you next time.